Hello everybody, my name is Alan, I'm from Sauber-Lab and today will be part 2 of the video, if it's interesting to self-host or not. In this video specifically, I will try to convince you that it's not interesting to self-host all your application in your house, and in this way, once that you watch the previous video, that's why you should self-host, and this one that why you shouldn't self-host, in this way you can make the best decision and you can balance your choice. So once that you decide or not decide to self-host and have all your applications in your house, at least you know the both sides and that you are understand what's the implication for it. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show in this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave your like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and let's understand a little bit more about it. As I told, before we start to self-host our system and start to have your own server in your local network, you need to consider why you shouldn't do it. And in this video I will explain a little bit more, at least you can make the correct decision specific for your case. So let's try to understand why you shouldn't self-host. First thing that you need to have in mind will be the cost. Here on my screen you can see more or less what will be the cost for your self-host. In the previous video, I focused more for the monthly cost, but you need to consider that you need to buy all the server, all the device that you need to use. And in this way, I didn't focus so much for this point, but you need to have in mind. If you look here for your device, if you go for a used server, you're gonna pay around £199, £200. If you go for a Synology NAS, a new one, you're gonna pay around 550, and if you go for Raspberry Pi, you're gonna pay around £60. But you have in mind that if you go for this option for a server, you're gonna have a risk that someone is selling that server because it's really used for 7-10 years, 24/7, and at some point they say it's not work for me anymore, let's sell it. And you don't know how long you're gonna have a for shelf life or lifespan for that device before they stop to work, basically. If you go Synology NAS, you go for a new one, and still after 1 year of warranty it's your risk. If you want to extend, yes, you can extend, but after this one, if the device stops to work, it's your responsibility to replace it, and the Raspberry Pi will be the same. Of course, if you go for a server, you have possibility for more upgrades. As Synology NAS, you have a few upgrades, but not so much, and Raspberry Pi you don't have upgrades at all. So this one that you need to have in mind. So if you keep looking this one, you need to have that initial investment to do, and not only the investment for the system, but the hard drives as well. So you need to spend upfront for buy your server, you need to spend upfront to buy all your hard drives. Another thing, you are responsible for this system. Why it means that you are responsible for the system. Imagine that you put this server in your house and that have some leak and that this server stops to work because get moisture. You are responsible to fix it. The same thing that will be if your internet stops to work. If you have your internet and for any reason your network provider don't offer any more internet or you stop to work, you're not going to be able to access internally or externally. So in this way, you're not going to be able to access your server externally, only internally, because normally your router will still work and that your network will be available. But if the internet stops to work, you're not going to be able to access your system outside or maybe neither inside, and that's all your system will be down in this case. So you need to have in mind about it. Other thing that you need to have in mind is about that you are responsible for all the application that you want to do, all your operating system, everything that you do. So if you want to install Proxmox, if you want to install OpenMediaVault through NAS, you are responsible to install it, you are responsible to update it, and you're responsible to manage it in the best way. And that if you want to install some Docker application on top of it, as Nextcloud or other thing, you are responsible to make sure that everything's work, everything's properly set up. And if you don't set up it properly, you can go in a way that all your data can get lost or they will not work the way that you expect. Other thing that's interesting that you need to have in mind that you are responsible to do the backup for your system. If perhaps you want to keep that data safe and your system fail, you're gonna lose your data. If you, by mistake, have a ransomware and that all the data is encrypted, you're gonna lose that data. If you delete something and you don't have a recover option or you don't have a recycling bin, your data is lost. So you need to have in mind that you need to plan for backup and yourself need to plan about it. It's not another person that needs planning. And if the system don't work, you need to manage to fix it. You need to understand what is going wrong. Of course, you can look for logs, you can habilitate it, but you are responsible to look for that information, to search what's the correct answers, and that you need to fix it. One example, lots of people start to ask, Alan, in the Open Media file, my RAID stopped to disappear, what I should do? And in this way, you need to learn how to recover your RAID. Different for a cloud that you only buy the system and you know that difficultly they will stop to work the data. They will stop to work your system because they have multiple copies of the same data. Of course, if by mistake you delete it and you go there in your recycling bin, you delete it, it's gone. You're not going to be able to recover it because have a limit how long, how much data this cloud can save or recover for you. Other thing, it's about your network. You are responsible for your security for your network. Let's say that you want to install Proxy Manager and that you want to enable port 8 and 443. If you don't enable it properly, you enable more ports, you do other configurations and you don't keep your system up to date, potentially you can be hacked. And you are responsible how to recover your data, you are responsible to avoid it. So you need to keep your system update, you need to keep your system backup, you need to install all your applications, you need to take time to understand what is going wrong. And everything it's you. Different for some clouds that you can only go there, sign out their option, and you don't need to worry about it. You know that if you go to Google Photos and you want to have your photos there, you can put your photos and just will work. No stress for you, nothing that you need to do. Different if you want to use Knowledge NAS, you need to configure this Knowledge NAS. If you want to choose Meet, you need to configure it. You need to make sure that it is external accessible for everyone that wants to access it. You need to make sure that everything is safe. Other thing that you need to consider is the time spent. You need to spend time to understand what is going wrong and how to fix it. It's not responsible for any third party, it's not responsible for anyone else. You are responsible for everything in your system. So only to remember, once that you want to self-host your system, you need to have in mind that you need to buy everything, you need to configure everything, you need to understand what you want to install in your system, you need to keep your system up to date, you need to protect your system against of any invasion, and if have invasion, you need to try to block it. And it's you are responsible for everything. Also, if your system stops to work and you are outside for your network in a trip, you need to manage a way to make it restart or to recover this data. And that this is the other side. You are responsible for everything. Of course, you need to learn. Of course, will be a learn curve for it, but you are responsible for absolute everything. And if anything go wrong, you need to fix it by yourself. So have this one in mind. Other thing that I needed to return, it's about scaling. If you go for a server, you can scale a little bit more easily, but if it's a really old system, you have some limitation for scaling. Suppose that you want to have more big CPU. You cannot only replace for a fast CPU because have a limit for your hard drive to understand it. If you go for a Knowledge NAS and have a lot of users connected, your CPU is locked. The amount of RAM memory that you can install is locked. The amount of hard drives that you can install is locked. If you want to go for Raspberry Pi, basically the only thing that you can do is add more USB and connect more hard drives, but as much hard drive that you connect, the speed can go low and that you compromise. So you have less upgrade option for this case. Different for a cloud system, if you are using instance, look like Oracle Cloud, you can always increase the amount of CPUs, you can always increase the amount of RAM memory, you can always modify things that fit matter for your needs. Different for a system, if you don't plan your system for the start, sometimes you have some problems to update it. And either that you want to update, you have lots of costs that sometimes is more easy to get a different system and have another investment but at least you know that it will work for your needs in the future. So guys, in this way we try to explain what's the other side for you have your own server in your house. Hope that you guys like this video. If you like this video and think that it was interesting, please don't forget to leave your like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and see you next time.